Coucou les coucous! De retour à Dark Deity après avoir échoué de défendre une ville? I guess. What were you thinking when Uncle finds out we won't be welcome in our own lands? I had no choice, Samara. All of this is bigger than Aramor or Delir now. Friends, are you alright?
Hardly.
I think it's fair to say we've been better. The important thing is that we're safe now, thanks to you, though I'm still not sure why you did it. We're racing the Sandglass against something far more dangerous than an army, and we're closer now than ever to knowing just who or what that is. I'm assuming you need our help to stop it?
Come on.
To be fair, Irving, they just saved our lives. We think what's happening is related to the eternal aspect somehow. Can you return for the stone? Stone? Blech. Not exactly. We have a friend, a student of history, who has aided us in our research. He recently made some kind of a breakthrough. We want us to come and meet him, only he instructed us to bring a large force. Well, we've no plan to stop you, and it seems your uncle has plenty of troops to spare. We've tried. The war consumed his thoughts. You won't pull even a single scout from the front. All this to say we were hoping you would come with us instead. This is absurd, abandoning Red Hill to traipse about in the sands of Aramor, chasing story of evil shadows and magic stones? I have to say, I'm not sure your lead would be so thrilled about that. Brooke, not helpful. But Lincoln, what if they're right? That is uncertain at best, but as the mercenary points out, whether or not Varric will be so miraculously forgiven again is not. Make no mistake, if we do this, Delia will be no safer a home for us than Aramor. They wanted us dead or captured, they could have had their way. It seems clear to me they harbor no ill will.
Now what?
What's left for us here anyway? Nothing but the ash and rubble we feared to find.
I've said my part.
Merci. Samara, to entrust myself into your cause, I need your word on the throne of Aramor that all you said has been both honest and sincere.
Of course.
You have my word. The oath is made, so be it.
We must.
So shall it be honored. We'd better go. The sooner we catch up with Corvan, the better. Je l'aurais fait partir, Lincoln. Officer. Sir, there, sir. Fleeing the flame. The defensive party Varric dispatched. Are you sure it's them?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Lincoln and the group from Brookston, if I'm not mistaken, sir. They seem to be accompanied by our Ramorian royalty. Irving. Should we pursue them?
Sir?
Sir, should we rally the cavalry?
No.
If innocents still live in Red Hill, they must be rescued. If not, they must be avenged. The deserter will meet justice soon enough.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ah, c'est ça, c'était Aramor qui est tombé au sud-ouest. In Red Hill, the party is overwhelmed and surrounded. They find themselves in dire straits. Quand je regarde une map de même, j'essaie toujours de mettre dans un monde médiéval fantastique, j'essaie toujours de mettre sur la map de l'Europe. Donc, soit qu'on était en Allemagne puis on descend en France-ish, ou on était en France puis on descend en Espagne, c'est la façon que je la vois. Vu la topographie, je dirais plus l'Espagne. At their darkest moment, Sarah and Samara reappear, ordering the Aramoran force to let the party go. Once they are clear of danger, they explain to the group that they have further leads on the Necromancer. They have a contact, Corvan Galivar, who instructed them to bring a large force. Jeremy des guillemets. As a member of the Aramoran royal family, they are violating their uncle's orders by leaving Oasis. He was unwilling to spare them any force, all of whom he has sent to various wars. J'assume que la masse d'eau qui est dans le milieu de la map, c'est l'Oasis. Knowing the danger this necromancer might present, the sister had no choice but to turn to their newfound friends. Hey, we're friends now! They travel now south to a discreet location in the Aramoran desert. Mistrust runs rampant among the group, but they are bound by a shared purpose. Yes, ils nous ont laissé rentrer pas fond. Hello, Nut Dark Elf? Ah, you arrived. Good. It's time we altered our tactics of observation. Glad to see you too, Corvin. Forgive me. It's fine, really. I rather like when you get to the point. Well, I presume you received my letter. Wouldn't want to... Where were you repeating myself?
Can it be?
Orimata Sanari. You think it's really him? Travels are for thinking, dear Sarah. Research is for knowing. I am certain of it.
I'm sure of it.
I've been watching the road for some time. No other man, elf, or beast could so invariably rebuff Challenger from every corner of Atlan. Look at his elf, idiot dwarf. This is where he's conducting his trials. That's what I suspect. In an old room just a half-a-day trip north. I remember the first time I saw him before his exile. The story said not a drop of his blood ever mixed with the arena. That he's blessed by the god of competition himself. You think it's true? All good stories are true, Samara. Only not all true stories are factual. But the bit about the gods, the one does appear to have a scrap of fact attached to it. From what I've gathered, Orima holds Theron's aspect. Right, like the one we located in Drakenweld? Precisely. Only this one should possess the nature of a different kind entirely. One that reflects Theron domains of competition. What more, I cannot say. So where do these aspects come from exactly? There are many competing theories on this subject, some quite ancient. One I find most compelling posit that during the Age of Ascension... Alright, I'm sorry to ask.
Boorish.
Let's see. Listen, the important thing is we're here to help now. And not a moment too soon. I hear affairs on the front favor Aramor. Now that Varric has his soldier turning up every stone in search of some troublesome traitors. Word of that reach you already? Is it that dire? Rare is the story that slipped past these ears unheard. You don't have to tell me twice. I'll tell the other of Orima.
Certainly.
Very good. The day is old. We should start for the ruin in the morning. I expect we'll have to best him somehow if we want him to talk. Should we expect a fight? Most definitely. Okay, Corvin. Let's go read on that bad boy. Corvin, donc, is a rogue. Son skill, Midnight Intel. Allies within their tiles gain 8% mastery. Corvin is my man! Je suis en train de lire qu'est-ce qu'il y a sur le Reddit post là. Favorite rogue and a strong contender for the best rogue in the game. He has massive magical bulk and non-negligible physical bulk, without really giving up much for it beside lowish mastery. You've got three good options for Corvin. Thief into Trickster. Levering his magical bulk made him good, blah 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 blah. Duelist into Gladiator. An assassin is the worst for him. Qu'est-ce qu'il dit de Raider? Thief to Trickster, ouais. Ouais. Duelist into Gladiator. Alright, puis ça dit, finally he can lean into his decent strength and high magical bulk to become a mage slaying slayer. Ambush. First blood plus 35% power. Yeah. Est-ce qu'il nous reste d'autres rogues? Il reste deux autres rogues. On va garder un des autres rogues pour le raider. Stalker. Instant kill. Faire un deuxième dueliste. Point, 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 point. On est dans le désert. Pour le 17. Alright. C'était fun, vous avez déjà une côte en dedans. Finally fair to say we're in over head. No more than usual. True enough. Still not sure how you plan to explain this to our family, but it keeps things exciting, I suppose. I prefer a little less excitement and a few more answers myself. That'll come in time, and after some more excitement. That's what I'm worried about.
Are you sure?
Really? What for? Take a look around. Irving, Elias, Bianca. They trust us now, at least more than they did. Even Lincoln started to come around, and they're certainly capable. I'm not sure if any of us are capable enough. We don't even know what we're up against. You never know until you're actually in the thick of it. Remember that botany study you forget about until the day our tutor came to visit?
Unbelievable.
Of course I remember. Even with everything else on my mind, I still have nightmares about it. Incredible. I don't think a word you say about that plan was true, but you spoke with such confidence. I bet you're still putting its sleeve in his tea as a sleep remedy. I was right about the blossom. They're pink. I checked. Of course you did. Well, anyway, I see your point. And in an ideal world, you're right. There's nothing to worry about, and these are all baseless doubts. I just hope that's the world we live in. Either way, we'll find out soon enough.
We must.
And we will. We will. Can you believe how far we've come since Duskwater? Of course I can believe it. It's the grand adventure I always yearned for. I knew I would get it someday. You know, it's hard to get a little homesick too. I do. I miss my mom and pop sometimes, but there wasn't much in Duskwater to miss. Why would I be homesick? Home doesn't need to be interesting or fun. A place of safety, a place you can be comfortable. A lot of cold comfort coming our way recently. Yeah, I think I've been a little rocky. Doesn't mean I'm ready to go running home to mama. No, I wouldn't think so. Just want to check in and see where your head is. On my shoulder last I checked. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. You and I are really one older brother away from being the same person. How do you mean? You've lived in a small town that you felt wasn't big enough for what you wanted out of life. So did I. Without my brother moving us to Sojourn, I may still be there. You're braver than I ever was. Oh, I don't know about that. You're sort of like a rock to me. I look to you to know how to act. You would have much better manners if that were really the case. No, I do! Not when we're sitting around or traveling, obviously, but when things get tense, you know that world's better than I do. Not for long, you're learning fast. And we've seen more than our share of conflict over there. Got a feeling we won't be seeing the end of that anytime soon. I think we all have that feeling. You really look to me? More than I care to admit, actually. Wow, that's a weird feeling, honestly. I don't know how I feel about it. Non, c'est meilleur dans ta face. Next time we're in mortal danger and you feel a little heat on the back of your head, that's me sitting staring at you. It's creepy, really.
How cute!
I'd say a lot of things could describe you, Sia. Creepy is not one of them. You really make me feel like a better soldier, you know? You're so much better than a soldier, and don't tell Lincoln tell you any different. He cares in his own way. Thank you for confiding me, Sia. I'm glad we had this talk. Sure thing, Captain. Benji! You were lucky we were around to pull you out of that one, kiddo. At the aqueducts? Oh yeah.
No way!
You were lucky Benji was holding down the fort when you showed up. Is that what Benji was doing?
Simple!
Yep, the arts weren't destroyed when you got there, were they? Not completely, but we also got there pretty quick. Well, you'll never know how it would have played out otherwise. I think I have an idea. It can put you in a lot of trouble getting big ideas.
How cute!
Better to avoid them for the most part, right? Ideas, generally? Right, or well... There's a lot that's starting to make sense here. Just something my dad used to say. Not too far from the tree, huh? I want to be like him in a lot of ways. That's part of why I'm so excited to fight with all of you. I want to carry his armor to new battle and new heights of glory. Well, try not to be like him too much. If we can help it, let's avoid you winding up with a debilitating injury. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. One idea you can put up with? Ha! Yeah, I think so. Your friends seem to trust you very much, Irving, with their lives even. I'm sure they have a good reason. The Academy trained us all to be leaders as well as soldiers. And they've trained you well. Appreciate that. Were you always so eager for war with my people? No, I'm not eager for it even now. Soldiers should never be eager for war or peace. Only eager to follow commands? Well, an army without obedience is not an army. It would be a raiding party at best, or a mob. Some armies aren't so unlike mobs. Your own kingdom are better than that? Your own kingdoms are better than that. What makes you so sure? They stood down the moment you gave them an order. Their obedience to you saved our lives. Even if I asked them to tear you limb from limb, then I suspect they would have obeyed as well. It's not a pleasant thought, but you would never do that. Because someone has, in turn, ordered me not to? No, but you're still practicing a type of obedience. You're obedient to your heart in a way.
Of course.
I can live with that. I think that's what I'm trying to say, actually. Our world would do better to prioritize a higher form of obedience. It makes the world better, I'm all for it. Brooke, it's good to be back with you. I'm also glad the people who pay me are alive. Well, close enough to continue doing so.
Unbelievable.
How endearing.
Maybe I should raise my rates.
You hire me as a bodyguard, don't forget. I charge extra for flattery. It's harder. Thanks for the reminder. I wanted to ask, have you seen anything suspicious in your time with the group while we were away? Anything concerning that should be brought to our attention?
Can't trust them.
All that talk of trust was pretty short-lived. I never said I don't trust them. Just so long as you can see them. Seems reasonable enough. Now tell me, what have you seen? Not a whole lot, unfortunately. Most of them are pretty boring, except that Garrick, maybe. He's trouble, but the interesting kind. Not the kind you should be worried about. Did that quite fortunate, actually. Well, congratulations, then. Let's hope they prove to be as competent as you expect. We're on a good track in that
Whatever
regard.
you say.
Maybe, but I wouldn't be opposed to taking on some additional help. Especially if we get it for free. Without your talk of noble causes, you seem to manage that better than me.
Of course.
Our causes are noble, Brooke. Maybe if you took some time to reflect on it, you'd see that for yourself. That's the trick to convince me to stop charging for my service. It won't work. You really are hopeless. Glad we established that early on in our relationship. Saves us a lot of trouble. Blah, 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 blah. Rohan. Valmiran. To what do I owe the pleasure of this
I'm
visit?
intrigued.
I've heard much of the beloved Princess of Aramor. I simply wanted to see her myself.
Of course.
Certainly has nothing to do with the communication between Serenity and your father, does it? How do you know of them? How do you? I read her mail as a child, and I'm sure you read
You're
Henry's.
not half bad.
Guess it takes an heiress to know one. Did it not color your perception of her to hear such treachery? You think Serenity was deliberately suggesting treason? She was a plant from King Darius. It's no secret that Henry Valmarin's a snake. Huh? I suppose I assumed that Serenity was the same way. Easy assumption to come to, from all I've heard. She's ruthless, and she cares for Aramor greatly, but she is also loyal to the throne, and always has been. Loyalty is a foreign concept in the Lyre of late. Hard to imagine I'm the only one she fooled. No less than 5 different agents were reading their communication in Delia. Can be sure that the other major noble houses knew. Anyone with half a brain knows that my father craves power. I can't imagine they were surprised.
It's simply politics.
Surprised, no, but hard evidence can be quite damning, as I'm sure you know all too well. So what are you saying, that there was a plot against my father? There was. He trampled it long ago. I don't understand how he does it. But your father is a horribly intelligent man. Been searching for those answers all my life. So I heard you were part of the super secret task force for the Aramoran.
Huh?
You know? I wonder how accurate the source you're listening to are. Oh, I'm an old hand at gathering information. I think they're rather reliable. Interesting, some sort of spy. You look the lion. You could say that. I spent years manipulating people to make it so we all got what we want. Lots of coin in it. What? Can you imagine back in my team we valued our informants greatly. It's an underappreciated art, getting information out of people that they don't want you to have. Couldn't agree more. It's refreshing to meet someone that understands the merit of my profession. Not as easy as it looks. Can imagine you making it look pretty easy. Well, look at you go. That was pretty bad, huh? Atrocious, but I'll give you an A for effort. What I wanted, a consolation prize. Well, that is what you... What is it that you want? I can't imagine your plan landed you in the rank of a double deserting group of degenerates. Can't say they did. What a mouthful, but you're not wrong. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know that I was happy where I was, truly, but who knows where we're headed now. Just along for the ride, huh? From what I gather, you've spent a long time floating along someone else's current. You don't strike me as the kind to not set your own pace.
Hold on.
You know, once upon a time I wasn't. Maybe one day I'll get back there. Though life as a big fish in a small pond was bad. I just didn't stop to think about how big the other ponds get. Pretty damn big, as it turns out. You must be used to that, though, as a spy yourself. Oh, I was a small-town barmaid. Every time I think this group, I have this group figured out, it throws me for a loop. What is a small-town barmaid doing in the most wanted military group on the continent? Sitting around talking to people who were supposed to be my enemies, I guess. Can't believe you just pulled that off. We pulled that off, Gary. I'm letting you take occasional credit for my genius. You've been over this.
Are you sure?
So now we wait. This is too good. What if Lincoln walks in before Bianca does? He won't. I memorized their schedule. Bianca's going to freak out when she thinks Lincoln has really been in love with her this whole time. Where did you learn to forge handwriting like that? You have any idea how many drunken love letters I've had written to me? Let alone the countless ones that were given to me to pass on to someone else. You read the ones from other people? Of course I do. Sometimes I'd even change little detail and ruin them or make them better. Was a good hobby, really. This is positively evil. But I only changed one that obviously had no chance or needed the help.
You're really something.
Doesn't make it any better. Letters are private.
Can you not?
Let's get up your pants today. Are you forgetting you were just all in for us for forging a love letter to Bianca? That was before I realized the framework came from other people's suffering.
Oh, come on.
Don't be so dramatic. Half of them didn't even remember writing them the next day. What are you hiding now? Well, maybe I'm working on a letter of my own.
Could have fooled me.
Hold your horses. You what now? I said maybe I'm working on a letter of my own. And you thought it was a good idea to tell me this?
Hardly.
Of course not, but you yelled at me so to tell you so. I did. I do that sometime. Who would this letter happen to be for? Who do you like to know? I would. Hey Sloan, I've been meaning to ask. You ever get tired of the whole rich and haughty visage? Allow me to think on it for a moment. Do you ever get tired of being rich? Of course not. Being haughty then, surely something it has to feel like a bit much. I think that's the reach. You hardly know me at all, yet you presume to understand how I feel in the day-to-day.
Hardly.
Never said I understand you. Never said I know you. Just think it must get really tiresome pretending to be so high and mighty.
That's cute.
Pretending. Right. Do you ever get tired of being right all the time? Funny thing about that, I actually do. You know how hard it is to be the smartest, most handsome person around? Funny thing about that, I actually do. Alright, we have to agree to disagree then. Maybe over tea?
You're not half bad.
Wow, I'm speechless. Your originality and approach are impressive, truly.
You're really something.
Let me down easy, why don't you? The nerves don't help. I'm only a lowly peasant, remember? Are you really never going to let me live that down? I was having an awful day. I have awful days too. I don't berate people for their social status because of it. Yeah, I know. Would you believe me if I said I'm working on it? Are you being sincere when you say it? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. How does one work on being an insufferable brat? Very carefully, I guess. Though I wouldn't say you're insufferable or a brat. Not to my face, at least. Not at all. You grew up under different circumstances than I did. And who am I to
I'm
judge?
intrigued.
That's an awfully mature stance for you. Where's my young bravado-filled warrior with poor flirting skills?
I'm all in.
On him? Oh, him? Nice guy, handsome in that sort of frustrating way. You know, wish I was that handsome. I might be able to get him to meet you for tea. Deal. Fantastic. Fait quoi, j'ai l'impression que Eric pourrait envoyer une lettre à tout le monde. Toutes les filles. Ok, on a fini avec ça. Inventory. Half the mastery is added to accuracy. On va te donner ça. Alright. Upgrade. Ah, ça c'est poche par contre. J'aime pas. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. J'aime pas le fait que les nouvelles units commencent complètement pas upgradées. Leur weapon, là. J'ai cassé le son. J'ai pas fait, ouais, j'ai pas fait lui. Alright, qui c'est qui est bas pourrait profiter? Bonds, shop, upgrade, j'ai tout l'argent que je veux garder. Là, je vais checker rapidement, c'est qui a le plus de mastery? Pia, Garrick, Brooke. Ok. Save. Huit heures et quart pour moi. Alright, on va laisser un épisode ici. On va continuer la prochaine fois. Alors, au revoir et à bientôt.